Let me ask you something. How do you know you are who you think you are? Your name, your face, your memories. What if one morning they weren't yours anymore? This is the story of Daniel Harris, a man who woke up one day and slowly, quietly started disappearing. Not his body, something worse, his mind. And the terrifying part? He didn't notice, not at first. Chapter 1: The Ordinary Man. Daniel was ordinary in every sense of the word. He was 34 years old. He lived alone in a small apartment on the 4th floor. He worked at an accounting firm. He ate the same breakfast every morning: black coffee, 2 eggs, toast. He had no enemies, no drama, no secrets, or so he believed. The first sign came on a Tuesday. He was getting ready for work. He stood in front of the bathroom mirror, tie in hand, and for exactly 7 seconds, he could not remember his own name. It came back, of course. Daniel Harris. He laughed it off. Stress, he told himself. Too much work, not enough sleep. He had no idea that those 7 seconds were just the beginning. Chapter 2: The Gaps. The gaps started small. He would walk into a room and forget why he came. He would pick up his phone to call someone and stare at the screen, unable to remember who. Normal things, easy to explain. But then the gaps got bigger. One evening he found himself standing in his kitchen, holding a knife, with no memory of picking it up. He was not frightened. That was the frightening part. He just put it down and went to bed. His colleague Sarah noticed first. She pulled him aside one afternoon and said, "Daniel, are you okay? You've been acting strange." He smiled, reassured her. But when he got home that night, he realized he could not remember a single thing he had done that day. 8 hours, gone, like a page torn from a book. Chapter 3: The Notebook. Daniel started keeping a notebook. He would write down everything: what he ate, what he said, where he went, a record, a map of himself. For 2 weeks, it worked. He felt in control again. Then one night, he opened the notebook and found pages he didn't remember writing. The handwriting was his, he was certain of that. But the words were wrong. Entries about conversations he never had, places he had never been, and one entry near the back of the book, written in small, careful letters, that read, "He is still watching. He has been watching for months." Daniel doesn't know yet, but I do. Daniel read that line 4 times. His hands were not shaking. They should have been shaking, but he felt nothing, and that emptiness was more terrifying than any fear. Chapter 4: The Other One. He went to a doctor. Tests were run, scans were taken. Everything came back normal. "Stress," the doctor said. "Take a break, get some rest." But Daniel had begun to notice something else. In photographs, he had a habit of taking photos on his phone. Food, sunsets, random moments. He scrolled back through his gallery one night and found photos he had no memory of taking. Dark photos. His apartment at 3 a.m. His front door, slightly open. His own bed, from across the room, while he was sleeping in it. Someone had taken these photos from inside his apartment with his phone while he slept. He called the police. They found no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, no evidence of anyone else. The officer looked at him with careful eyes and said, "Sir, these photos were taken by you." Daniel did not argue. He went home, sat on the edge of his bed, and for the first time, he wondered if the person he was afraid of was already inside the apartment, had always been inside the apartment, was him. Chapter 5: The Truth. He stopped sleeping, not because he was afraid of the dark, because he was afraid of what he did in it. He set up a camera in his bedroom, pointed at himself, and watched the footage the next morning. For 6 hours of footage, nothing happened. He slept. He breathed. He was still. But at exactly 3:17 in the morning, he sat up, eyes open. He got out of bed, walked to the mirror on the wall, and stood there for 44 minutes, staring at his own reflection. Not moving, not blinking, just watching himself. And then, slowly, he smiled. But here is the thing that made Daniel's blood run cold when he watched that footage. The smile came before he saw his reflection. He smiled first, then looked up, as if something inside him already knew what it would see. Daniel moved out of that apartment 3 weeks later. He changed his name. He started therapy. He told himself it was over. But he still keeps the notebook. He still checks it every morning, not to remember what he did, to make sure the handwriting is still his. So far, it always is. So far. I want to leave you with one final thought. You have been sitting here, listening to this story for 10 minutes. Are you sure you remember how it started? Are you sure you are the same person who pressed play? Sleep well.